All right, big news in the United States. Let's get to it. A blunt rejection for President Trump, even though he was not personally on the ballot. The Democrats scoring big in a number of key races, one of the biggest in Donald Trump's hometown of New York City, where a 34-year-old has made history. Zohran Mamdani, a so-called Democratic socialist, elected mayor of New York, becoming the first Muslim. And this was all in spite of repeated attempts by Donald Trump to intervene and try to swing the vote against him. He even at one point called Mamdani a communist.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
There's Mamdani, and he's basically saying to Trump, bring it on. Foil to the president in many different ways. Mamdani took direct aim at the president during the acceptance speech. Democrats also swept governor races in both New Jersey and Virginia. Contests widely viewed as a first test of Donald Trump since he returned to power 9 months ago. Another key victory for the Democrats came in California, where voters approved a plan to redraw congressional districts to benefit Democrats in the House of Representatives, offsetting a similar move that was made by Republicans in the state of Texas. So what does it all mean? Let's bring in author, political analyst Steve Farnsworth with his take. Steve, good to see you. What's your takeaway here?
Well, this was clearly a repudiation of Donald Trump. When you look at the economic anxiety, you look at the government shutdown, you look at all the issues out there that people were saying to pollsters they did not like about Donald Trump, this is the consequence.
Yeah, and what does it mean? How will the president interpret this, Steve?
Well, how the president will interpret this is that it's somebody else's fault. That's how he always interprets things that do not reflect well on him. He's already said that he thinks that this is about the shutdown. Well, why did the shutdown happen? And so there are all those kinds of issues that Donald Trump will probably not take too seriously to heart, because whenever he gets a rejection in one form or another, he doesn't accept it. He didn't think he lost the election in 2020 when every judge told him he did. The question, though, is how are other Republicans going to react to this? The Republicans who have been supporting Trump, will they continue to say it's fine not to have a government operating? It's already a record-long shutdown, and it's each day setting a new record. That's not going to be helpful to Republicans, perhaps, going into the 2026 midterm elections, given what they saw last night.
Yeah, it is officially now the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The previous one was also under President Trump during his first term. Can I ask you about Zohran Mamdani and what you think he will bring to the table here? He doesn't have a lot of experience, certainly not running a city of 10 million people and, you know, a budget, a huge workforce, 300,000 workers, give or take. And whether you think Donald Trump actually, in a way, Steve, wanted Mamdani to win so that he could say, look, the Democrats are a bunch of communists.
Well, certainly the way that the Republicans will spin it is that the Democratic Party is a bunch of communists. But it's also important to note that these were much more moderate candidates who won the governorships of New Jersey and Virginia. They campaigned as centrists. But getting back to the mayor-elect of New York City, what you have is another foil, not unlike Governor Newsom of California, somebody who has a very, very key place in Blue America in a position to challenge the president. When it comes time to do some of the things he wants to do in New York City, though, the reality of what he's put together, a very ambitious plan, may not be coming to pass. I don't know that anybody who's ever tried to build public grocery stores has been ever very successful about it. There have been cities in America that have tried, and generally speaking, they haven't worked well. So things like that may not happen. But other things may be possible. If you could think about ways to make the city more affordable, bus fares, reducing those, maybe eliminating transit fares for certain trips in the center city or something like that. There are all kinds of possibilities for things that can be done, but the ambitious agenda that he has is probably far more than the budget of New York City, and perhaps the voters of New York City would be willing to accept.
Yeah, New York has a budget, by the way, of $112 billion, just to put things into perspective for people to realize what we're talking about here. We have some live pictures as well, I believe, of Donald Trump. Right now, he's in Miami, Steve. He's at an American business forum there, getting a pretty happy reaction from the business leaders, some of them anyway, in the room. Does this lead to any sort of course correction by the president, looking at the results in Virginia, in New Jersey, in California, in New York, or do they just double down what they're already doing, Steve?
Well, I do think there's going to be increasing pressure to open the government. That has been, I think, the key challenge that is bedeviled Washington for a month now. But in terms of Trump personally, I don't know that anything sticks for very long, that he will be as aggressive and combative as he has been by the end of the week, if not before. I think the challenge, though, for the Republican vision is those elected officials who face the voters in 2026, the midterm congressional elections. Those folks are going to take this lesson much more seriously, perhaps, than Donald Trump will. They have to look out for their own political futures. And for them, this was a painful wake-up call.
Hey, Steve, it's always great to have you part of our coverage today. Good to see you again.
Thank you.